Is that Eminem?
This is the REM Show, and I'm Sean Rowley, lender with Caliber Home Loans, 15622, licensed in Oregon, Washington, and Hawaii. My NMLS number is 2003-532.
I'm Rebecca Donaldson, realtor with Realty One Group, Willamette Valley, and my license number is 2012-13455. I like the intro.
Completely different than what we've had so far.
Completely different. Guessed it wrong.
This is a new REM show.
I like it. I like it a lot. That's right.
Well, welcome back to the REM Show. I am Sean Rowley with Caliber Home Loans, and I'm here with Rebecca Donaldson.
That's me.
With Realty One Group. How's your week been going?
Crazy.
How so?
It's good. We're busy.
We are busy.
Even though rates are on the rise, we're busy. We've got, new listings. Got another one coming up. Open houses this weekend.
How did the open houses go?
Oh my gosh, amazing. Really good.
A lot of traffic?
Lots of traffic.
Offers?
We have 3 interested parties.
Ooh.
Got an email this morning that somebody's working on an offer, so.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. We talk about the market almost on a weekly basis, whether it's on the show or just offline on our own. Applications are coming in. People are wanting to buy houses. The market is, I think people's expectations are finally shifting to the market, or that initial shock of, I can't believe we are in a 5-point interest rate. We're heavily in 6s, toeing the line at 7s.
Yeah.
And I think that initial shock is starting to finally wear down a little bit.
It's starting to wear off, and people are, in Oregon, rents are going to be raised another 14+% next year. So I think people are finally realizing that, oops, they probably shouldn't have waited as long as they have been. And if you can afford that $2,600+ rent payment, you could definitely afford a house payment.
Yeah, it's incredible. Not only are the rates pricing people out, but rent's almost unachievable.
Yeah.
At this point, where you are paying a mortgage. Well, you are paying a mortgage. You're paying someone else's
mortgage.
You're paying
someone else's mortgage.
A 7-point interest rate is high, but 100% interest rate if you're renting is really high.
It's crazy.
So, but that kind of takes me into the first topic I want to talk about, where, there's a lot of different products on the market.
Yeah.
And there is not one cookie cutter product for all scenarios. Say, everybody come in, take your conventional loan and do whatever you want to do with it.
Right.
Every scenario is so, vastly, just drastically different, where, talk to your loan officer and allow him to be creative for, or in your best interest.
Yep.
Where the one I want to talk about, and we could do a show on each one of these individually and take a deep dive in them. So we just kind of, just touch them a little bit. If you have more questions, you can call me at 503-789-5811. But we recently had what we call Smart Self. So we have our portfolio products, Smart Vest, Smart Self, that are really niche products for a very certain individual, where your real estate agents, your business owners, you're self-employed. If you're writing off a lot on your tax returns, you may only claim minimal income, and it makes buying a house challenging.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can relate.
Yeah.
So that's
bank statement loans, 1099s. Yeah.
Yep. So that's where we take 12 months bank statements, and that's what we use to utilize to generate your income. And we had one that went up almost 400% on income, and she was able to find her dream home, and she was just on cloud 9, and she's loving it.
Is that your dream home that you just sold?
It is.
I love it.
It is. So, but yeah, just being able to help someone out that thought it wasn't possible.
Yeah, because you can be creative with what you're doing. There's different products out there, and a lot of people don't understand that.
And different loan officers are going to have access to different programs, depending on what company they have, what portfolio products they have, where, this client went through at least 2 other lenders that I know of. One of them was a bank, and they just have access to traditional programs. Where with that income, she'd qualify. She was a great candidate, but she claimed so little income that her buying power just wasn't there.
Yeah.
She can afford it, but it just didn't show on her tax returns.
Right.
So utilizing the bank statements yeah, she made great money. It just wasn't able to do it. And it was just seeing her reaction and how excited she was,
Yeah.
that's what makes this job so, worth all the long
I
hours and
know.
random phone calls in the
Yep.
middle of the night.
10 o'clock
But
at night. Yeah.
so,
We see that a lot in the food service industry
mm-hmm.
with your waitresses and
Yep. All the
'cause-
tips
yeah,
and
yeah.
whatnot, whether they're claiming them or not.
Yep.
Yep.
I have a niece that's a bartender, and she went through that.
Yep. And now with those, because they are inconsistent,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to average them over 12 or 24 months, depending on the program you utilize. But it's income. You should be able to count all income.
Right.
It's just how you do it.
It's how it's done.
Right. So,
So,
and that's where, we had another client that owns his own business. And this is kind of goes back to, it's not a cookie cutter product where it's great for everybody,
mm-hmm.
because he was the flip side of that coin, where we used his last 24 months bank statements and the income just wasn't there.
Uh-huh.
So, just having that creative loan officer that is looking at a lot of different scenarios, and grab your one or two and have the conversation with the client of what's in your best interest.
Right.
What are you happy with? Can you take a higher interest rate? Because these niche products, they're
They are
non-QM,
higher.
so
Yeah.
they're going to have a higher interest rate. But are you okay with, a 7 3/4 or an 8% interest rate to get in a house that you otherwise couldn't qualify for?
Right. And, at some point, rates should come down. Then,
They will. We just don't know when.
marry the payment, date the rate.
Yeah, but be comfortable with your payment.
Yeah, you got to be comfortable. You don't want to be house poor because you don't want the house to own you. You want to own the house.
Yeah,
Eventually.
and we say that saying a lot.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people saying the saying. Amber really kind of, I wouldn't say she disagrees with it, but you just have to be careful.
You have
where,
to.
You're not going to hold this interest rate forever, but can you make that payment at that interest rate for 18 months, 24 months, 36 months until
Right.
that rate drops?
Until it drops.
You're not going to hold it for 6 months and then get a phone call, hey, Sean, why can't I refinance now?
Yeah.
This payment's getting a little out of control.
Yeah.
So that's one of the first conversations we have, where these are your interest rates. This is the payment. You may qualify for $700,000, but you don't want to make more than a $3,500 a month payment.
Well, we
You
have
can
clients
qualify
we're
for that.
working with right now
Yep.
like that. They went from 700,000 down to 450 to 500,000.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
But
crazy.
just be comfortable with the
Yeah.
payment.
Now on those non-QMs, if they hit a jackpot lottery or something and they pay it off early, or they refinance it, is there a prepayment penalty typically?
It's all timeline based. So
Okay.
we tell everybody refinance after 6 months.
After 6 months.
After
okay.
6 months, refinance, which right now nobody's going to be refinanced in 6 months anyways.
Nope.
Best case scenario, we're looking at third quarter, fourth quarter next year.
Okay.
Let's be honest, we're probably first, second quarter 2024.
You think so?
I really do.
Okay.
I think we're going to hit 8s by the end of the year.
Really?
I hope not.
Ugh.
But, I think
Gross.
it is possible. Everything's lining up so that it may head that way. Hopefully it levels out. We saw a couple dips last week, which were great. I rushed and called a client like, hey, I'm locking you in right now. This is where we are. And it's really just having that conversation and make sure that you look out for the best interests of the client.
Do you have a product where typically you have to have an accepted offer, something under contract to lock the rate?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a product where people can lock the rate ahead of time and then...
Yeah, so we call that lock and shop, where, yes, you can. I can lock up. I had one, I locked 75 days out, which means I lock it for 60 days. As soon as you have that address, then it turns into a 75-day lock.
Okay.
You pay extra for that lock and shop because it's risky, and they're basically saying, we have faith and confidence that you're going to find a house within that window, but at a much lower interest rate, so you're going to pay for it. So you're not paying that for the life of the loan, but you may pay $1,500, $2,000 to lock this rate right now, with the assumption that you're going to jump a full point and a half in the next 2 months.
So people looking right now, should they do that lock and shop with you in case they do hit the 8s?
Yeah, let's have the conversation first. I would like to see your full file before having that conversation. Where is it beneficial yes, for the right client.
For the right client.
You know, if you aren't in a position to buy a house right now, or you're close, or we can do a little bit of work with what you're doing, whether it's, you know, income or credit, to kind of lessen some of the burden.
Yeah.
I'd say entertain that first before jumping into a lock and shop situation.
Yeah, because we have a couple, you know, that we're working with that I've written on and haven't gotten them accepted. So maybe we'll take a look at those.
Yeah, we can definitely entertain it. It just, you could be throwing money away if you don't have that accepted offer. If we're 2 years ago, sure.
Yeah.
You know, because there's going to be other houses, you're going to keep putting other
Right.
offers in. Yeah, it's kind of a difficult market to say, yes, do this, don't do this.
I know,
you
it's hard.
Every
It's-
situation's vastly different.
It's a crapshoot.
It is.
It's terrible.
It really is.
It is. Yeah.
Or if they get frustrated and I've had 2 non-accepted offers, I'm kind of done with this for a little while.
Yeah.
Well, you just paid to lock that for 60 days. You need to be actively looking
We need to be looking
for the right house. And what I'm not a big fan of is that you kind of are held to a timeline.
Yeah.
If you are getting close to that time, you know, I could see some clients settling for a certain house that they may otherwise not have settled for.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of held to
Because
a
they're
date.
locked in. Yeah.
Right.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, we have it. I've only used it once. That was easier because they were locking it, or it was only a 10-year loan anyways.
Yeah.
So the rate was really low. There wasn't much of a gamble. They already knew the house that they wanted to be in. They did the extended lock. So I plugged the address in. It was like 2 weeks later,
Yeah.
but I ended up doing a full 75-day lock because their house was pending sale.
Okay.
That was their reasons for doing it. So that was an easy win.
That's an easy one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the ones we have where it's been, 4 months, 5 months.
Yeah, and they're constantly looking, and then you
there's-
lock them
yeah.
extended. But then now, if they're waiting to sell their house and they need even more time,
yeah.
it's a very complex situation where I wouldn't just say, yes, bring them on over, Rebecca. We'll lock them for,
Bring them over.
you know, that's meant for construction. If the house is going to be done by a certain timeline, let's lock it until you finish that period. And we're just kind of applying it to other situations.
Okay. All right. Good to know. All right. How many minutes do we have left, boss? Perfect. All right. We're going to go into coming soon and some listings that I have right now. We have one coming up in Almsville you want to keep an eye out for. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, built in 2007. RV parking, 1,775 square feet, and it sits on a 7,600 square foot lot. Really nice house. We have a new listing up in McMinnville, 16006 Southwest Oldsville Road, completely remodeled, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, built in 1968, 1,756 square feet, but it's on 9.07 acres, and it's right next door to Yamhill Valley Vineyards, and it's so pretty. So pretty. Very nice property up there. We have a listing over at 430 Laurie Avenue Southeast in Salem, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, built in 1971, single level, 1,482 square feet. And then we have one out in Northeast Salem, 935 18th Street, Northeast Salem, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 1,192 square feet. It's on a 6,100 square foot lot. It backs to an alley, so it has alley access. It's super cute. Lots of room for an ADU. Give me a call if you have any questions about these. I can be reached at 503-269-0747, or you can go to my website, Rebecca'sGotHouses.com. And then we do want to remind everybody, you can listen to our show every Saturday morning on KSLM. Thank you, KSLM, for having us. And you can hear us on Apple and Spotify podcast. And then on typically Sunday afternoons, we surprise you live on Facebook.
Would that take us down about 20 seconds? 30 seconds?
30 seconds, 20 seconds. La, 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 la. It's my favorite time of the year. When we come back from break, we'll talk about a couple of events that we have coming up. And we will be back after this. I could just sit here all day and listen to the music. course, I want to go home and watch some football and drink a beer, so we won't do that.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about football. Cleveland lost by 3 today with 2.5 minutes to go.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, it was tough to watch.
Oh, I missed the Beaver game yesterday because I was doing an open house, but I heard they got pretty pummeled.
Yeah.
Dang it.
I don't know. I'm an Ohio State Buckeye fan and Cleveland Brown fan growing up in Ohio.
Yeah.
So Saturdays, I'm up here and my Browns bring me down every week.
Down.
So bring me back to earth.
Yikes.
So.
All right. I do want to mention Doug Blackwell again. He's with a new company. He has a new phone number. He is our 1031 exchange guy. Give him a call with all your 1031 needs. He can be reached at 602-524-5953. Again, it's 602-524-5953. And we're going to talk about some fun stuff coming up and happening right now in our area, because it is our favorite time of the year. My favorite. Is it Amber's favorite?
I don't know which necessarily would be her favorites, where I think she pockets certain things throughout the year.
Yeah.
You know, Christmas is big. Any holiday that she gets to decorate, the amount of boxes of Christmas stuff I have in my garage is
awesome, though.
Unbelievable.
It's awesome. I love it.
But yeah, she just has that eye where she can look at a room, set it up, and I'm like, I would have never done this. Like, give me a couple candles, I'll throw them on the Christmas tree.
And that's it. That's funny. I love it. All right, so it's harvest season. I love it. Harvest festival season in Salem and the Mid-Willamette Valley. So there's a couple of different farms that you can go to. You can go to Easy Orchards from October 1st through the 30th. They're offering hay rides, pumpkin patch. They have a petting zoo, face painting, corn maze, and live music on select days. Pets are not allowed there, but service animals are welcome. And then we have Bauman's Harvest Fest. They also offer a petting zoo, apple, cinnamon, cidery tours, a rope and corn maze, bug train, and a lot more. Well-behaved pets are welcome. Have you ever taken the kids out to Bauman?
We have not.
Oh my gosh, you have to do that. Seriously, they have such a cool setup out there. You can do the slingshot where you're slinging pumpkins.
Okay, that'd be fun.
It's fun. That's a lot of fun. The Beal Pumpkin Patch, they're offering free admission. They have the pumpkin patch, and they have activities for families and kiddos. They've got a gift shop and some fall treats. No pets allowed on site there. So just be sure you can go to Travel Salem and check out the harvest festivals in that section, and they will give you some really good ideas. Veteran Stand Down coming up. For October, there is a Veteran Stand Down October 13th in Hermiston. For more information on that, you can contact Anthony at 509-730-0782. And there's another one coming up October 20th in Hillsboro. Sean and I will be there. We will have our Homes for Heroes table set up. And I love this program. It's so cool that they're doing that.
It really is. And they have something for everybody.
They really do. I mean, the one we went to last month, they had free haircuts. They had dentists there for dental work. They have childcare there, so you can go in and do your job fair, get your resume reviewed and all that. It's a really good program. In November, there is one coming up November 1st in St. Helens. You can contact James at 971-757-5762 for more information on that. And then Sean and I have a fun event coming up next weekend.
Yeah, the fall show.
We are going to be busy.
The lawn and garden.
Yep, the fall home and garden show. One of the biggest home and garden shows in Oregon. Sean and I will be there. Is Amber coming?
Amber will be in and out. We've got a lot going on.
Do you think?
Yeah, we have a lot. We're trying to juggle quite a bit right now, but we also have a couple other within Caliber that are going to be kind of coming in and going and helping out. One in our regional up in lives up in Lake Oswego, so it's going to be right in his backyard.
Nice. Okay.
So he's going to come in.
Perfect. So that's October 7th, 8th, and 9th. Friday and Saturday, the home show is open from 10 to 7, and then Sunday, 10 to 5. We'll be there all 3 days. It's $12 parking per space per entry. Tickets are on sale now. So come and check us out. I'm not sure what booth number we're in, but it's at the Portland Expo Center. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've moved tables twice now and requested another location. So when you get up there, just find us.
Just look for us. We're going to have our Homes for Heroes booth set up. And I think we're going to do a raffle.
Yeah, we'll do a raffle, have a little bit of swag. Just come by the booth, have a conversation, and
Sean will give you his autograph. Yeah? No?
I mean, I'll sign something, I guess.
You'll sign something, all right. How many minutes do we have left? That's it? All right, so we're going to do business news around the state. We'll start with that. Sean's going to keep track of how many food cards come up.
Always. My favorite.
You want to guess?
I'm going to say 4.
Okay, we only have one this week. So,
Ooh.
I mean, one sheet.
One sheet. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to start in Southern Oregon. Central Eyes Optometry is going to open in Grants Pass. Bruno's Cavern, a pub, opened in Cave Junction. Sam's Creek Cellars, a boutique winery, opened in Gold Hill. That sounds cute. Mod Pizza will open in Ashland. And Chuck's Texaco in Roseburg, unfortunately closed. No food trucks yet.
No food trucks.
Central Oregon, Rancher Butcher Chef, a family-style steakhouse and meat counter, opened in Bend. And then there's a Super Deluxe, a drive-through burger joint, opened in Bend. And Timothy Wine Bar will open in Redmond. Lots of wine bars. In the Willamette Valley, we have Wuddles, a barbecue restaurant opened inside the Walmart store in Northeast Salem. Arches Project will open Taylor's House. It's a youth shelter serving ages 14 to 18 in rural Polk County. We have Beacock Music, a music store, will open in Albany. In-house Graphics in Northeast Salem closed. And we'll be back right after this. And we're back with Realtors Escrow and Mortgage. And we are talking about business news around the state. Offbeat Coffee will open in Southeast Salem. We have Killer Burger will open a second location in Eugene next year. They're pretty big in Portland. Have you checked them out yet, Killer Burger?
No, I'm not big on burgers. I'll eat a chicken sandwich if they have it, or I'll find something else on the menu.
I know Chick-fil-A is opening a couple more. They've got one in Corvallis they're opening, and then they're going to put another one in South Salem, right by the Costco.
Yeah, I heard that one. I mean, it's inevitable. Chick-fil-A right there in Kaiser
so good.
is
Killing
that
it.
line is ridiculous. If that's a proof of concept,
Yeah.
there's going to be one right next to every Starbucks in the state of Oregon.
It's crazy. There is a sushi bar that opened in Silverton, and I can't pronounce the name, so sorry about that. The Thirsty Fisherman, a drive-through coffee stand, opened in Toledo. In Eastern Oregon, Sarabella Winery will open a tasting room in Pendleton. And the Studio Peloton LLC and Art and Design School and Gallery will open in Pendleton. And then in Portland and the surrounding areas, Prime Tap House open in Beaverton. We have not had one food cart yet. What's happening? Slim Chicken, a fast casual restaurant, will open in Portland. Latitudes, a screen printing facility in Northeast Portland, unfortunately is closing. They're laying off 48 people. La Parella Kitchen, a Mexican restaurant in Northeast Portland, has closed. Starter Bread, a bakery, will open in North Portland early next year. DuckTales Kitchen and Restaurant in Vancouver, unfortunately, closed. That kind of surprises me because Vancouver has so many new restaurants opening up. It's pretty popular right now. Bumper Burger opened a location in Hillsboro. It offers burgers, Philly cheesesteaks, chicken sandwiches, Heroes, hot dogs, fries, shakes, and sodas. Sounds yummy. My Brother's Crawfish opened a to-go spot. It's not a food cart, doesn't count. In Northeast Portland, it offers seafood boils, gumbo crawfish, fried seafood, and po' boys. All right, here you go. Ray Taco, a food cart, opened in Southeast Portland. And then we have WellSpace, a company that provides rentable treatment rooms for massage therapists, opened in Vancouver. And the North Face, a sporting goods store, will open at Washington Square in Tigard. And Artesia, a women's clothing store, will open in Washington Square in Tigard. Wow. Only one food cart this week. What happened? Last week we had or the week before we had 11?
We had 6, but one of them was a
pod.
Yeah, the pod of them, and it had, I think, 5 within it. So we ended with 11.
It was crazy. Yeah. Crazy. Okay, folks, we're going to talk about the 7 reasons to get a home inspection, because buying a home is one of the most expensive and one of the most significant investments you will make in your life. So it's important that you get a home inspection. The first reason would be a home inspection will reveal structural defects. I'm assuming you did a home inspection when you bought your new house.
We did.
Yeah. So it's really important because the home inspector is going to check the structural integrity of the house. It's going to reveal if there's any drainage issues, tree or roots close in the home's foundation, visible cracks on walls and floors. It's funny because these inspectors, they will call out the smallest crack in the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Uneven floors and walls, sagging roofs, moisture-related damage. A lot of these will cost, thousands. I had a seller. We did a pre-listing home inspection, and she had arborvitaes around the outside of her house that had grown roots into the crawl space. And my home inspector was crawling around down there, and he's like, oh my gosh, that was a $15,000 repair.
Good Lord.
That's expensive.
Yeah.
Root intrusion is terrible. So it doesn't just get in your sewer line. It gets in the crawl space too. It can. So definitely want to do a sewer scope too. You want to make sure you don't have root intrusions, bellies in the line, or anything else, any cracks. They'll also look for hazards in the house, like improper electrical wiring, improper windows, any worn out roofs or plumbing deficiencies. I have one right now in Gladstone that's under contract. Young family, they're veterans, and the electrical panel is a Zinsco. And the there was another issue, and I totally just drew a blank. It was the electrical panel, and what was the other issue?
No straps on a hot water heater.
No.
That's a common one.
I'm so annoyed with myself right now that I can't remember.
Oh, no.
But those Zinsco panels are recalled. And, there's no heat. The furnace isn't working. The igniter wasn't working. And VA appraisers are supposed to call that out. You can't finance a house if you don't have a heat source.
Correct.
So the lender, I made a phone call, and he's made it a condition of the loan because I can't get a hold of the appraiser. So you want to make sure you get these things checked out, because appraisers do miss things, which is why you want a home inspector. You want a separate set of eyes looking at things. Discovers hidden pest and insect infestations. This is so common in Oregon. We see it a lot of times in attics. We see it in the crawl spaces. I've had a client where they had a squirrel. They're probably listening to me right now in the attic. I did my pre-listing home inspection, and my inspector was up there, and all of a sudden I can hear him scurrying, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "There's squirrels up there." It was beelining it towards the attic access door, so he was trying to get back across so he could get the access door closed so it wouldn't get in the house. But that too is expensive. You see rodent activity up there. They can wreak havoc in the insulation. Insulation in the crawl space, insulation in your attic. So you really want to make sure that you get that checked out. Home inspectors will also ensure compliance to avoid hefty fines, and they'll talk about the septics that aren't permitted, ADUs that don't have permits, which that can be costly. I had some clients earlier this year that bought a house here in Salem, and the seller put in a brand new septic system, a brand new drain field, actually, not a tank, but a brand new drain field. He had a garden shed that he converted into separate living quarters. It didn't have a stove in there, but it was advertised as an ADU. no permit. So we ended up negotiating for my buyers a $40,000 holdback because there were no permits for that for that drain field, and it cost the full $40,000 to get that done.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So really, really important to do a home inspection and get these things checked out.
Well, and it gives you peace of mind too. I know when we recently bought, beautiful home, there was no substantial issues, but with a really good home inspector, he's going to label everything, call out everything, no matter how minor it is.
Yeah.
Just so you know, there's not going to be, there's not going to be any of those surprises 6 months, 12 months down the road where, as simple as this outlet should probably be a GFCI.
Right.
Easy change, go in there,
Easy
switch
fix.
it out, not
Yeah.
a problem at all. But he lets you know everything.
Yes.
And he was there for hours, and
They take a long time.
nothing substantial that we're going to be, throwing a lot of money into.
Right.
But more importantly, no surprises.
Right. And there's some health and safety items that can come up. You should do a radon test. We have pockets of radon throughout the Northwest where you wouldn't think they're high. And you do a radon test and you're like, holy cow, it's over the 4, PCIs that the EPA recommends. So you just want to make sure you check everything. Home inspections are relatively inexpensive. It goes by the square footage, of course, location if there's travel time involved for the inspector, but I would plan on spending probably an average of $545 for a home inspection. Radon tests are typically another $150, and then you've got a sewer scope that's anywhere from $185 to $230 depending on the location of the property and who's doing it.
Worth the money. I'd rather spend that little money up front having that inspector kind of go through the weeds and find out maybe the foundation isn't bad or the sewer system's completely shot. And either one, you write it in and the homeowner should be repairing that himself, or maybe this isn't your house.
Right. Maybe it's a money pit and you should probably terminate and move on. Which brings us to another topic. If you get in there and you decide that, yikes, the seller doesn't want to play ball or it's sold as is, and you want to terminate, you got to make sure you're within your inspection time frame so that you can terminate and get your earnest money back.
Yep.
But doing a home inspection, it also provides peace of mind for you. So moving forward, if there are just some knick-knack stuff called out, you're not worried about having to fix something expensive. You're not worried about your water heater going out or your furnace breaking. So, definitely worth checking into because it can be costly. I mean, no furnace, that's about $8,000 to $10,000 fix to replace it. So you can also negotiate a home warranty. So if, there's some minor things coming up or the appliances are older, have your broker negotiate a home warranty for you. We are going into that market where we're able to negotiate. So make sure that you're communicating that with your broker. And we will be right back.
Oh, Rebecca dropped the mic. Welcome back. This is your REM Show. I'm Sean Riley with Caliber Home Loans.
Today. My mic is falling down, Josh.
And her mic just completely gave up. It quit on the last episode. So we're here. One of the things I want to discuss too, really for our listeners, that whether you're a real estate agent or a loan officer, you're new to the industry and you're trying to figure out what direction you want to go, or is this the right time?
Falling off.
Really have the the internal conversation of what it's going to take to be successful in this type of a market. And the simple answer is taking it back to basics.
Seriously, yeah.
Where 2020, 2021, whether it's the real estate agent side of the house or the loan officer side of the house, there's business everywhere. It was coming to you for the most part, at least on the real estate agent side with all the refinances. You didn't really have to get out and do a whole lot. Now, I came in right at the end of that refinance boom. So I started with the basics. And I had a conversation with a new loan officer, a different company, and a new real estate agent, I don't know, about 4 or 5 months ago. And the real estate agent was doing it part-time. I said, if you want to make a run at it, be financially stable so you could quit your job and be a real estate agent full time. It's going to be really hard in this environment to do it part time.
Yep.
And
That's
he
so
was
true.
kind of concerned because of the environment
Yeah.
if he should pull the trigger completely. And all I said is if you can build your foundation of systems and processes right now in this environment, you're going to be successful in any environment.
You just have to keep at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's where, whether, you're new in the industry and you're building that foundation, or you've been in, 5, 10, 15 years, taking it back to basics. And Amber and I recently signed up with Next Level Loan Officers.
I saw that.
We're
Yeah.
sporting
Okay, I
the
like it.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
Shout out Next Level. But yeah, they've got it's a 90-day. So check out Next Level. They have a great podcast. It's basically for loan officers, by loan officers, networking, accountability. They do basically these 90-day blocks.
I like it.
And you track your calls, everything you do in 90-day blocks. And Amber and I will be starting that tomorrow.
That's awesome.
I received my little care package week and a half ago. Amber just got hers on Wednesday. So we were putting it off to start our 90 days together so we could hold each other accountable on top of the fiasco that has been the last 2 weeks of our lives. So
Yeah. It's so important to have those systems and accountability groups in place, regardless of what industry you're in, really.
It really is.
It really is. I mean, I know people that work 8 to 5 jobs and they hate it and they don't want to go in, and, it's the same stuff over and over, but it's important to stay on task and stay on track regardless of what industry you're in.
Yeah. And, you can control the input, not the outcome.
Yep.
So if you want to see something change, it's that input, what you're doing up front, making the calls, showing up, look the part, dress the part, start in the office, end of the office, whatever your day looks like. I was always told it takes 6 months for something new to become habit.
Yep. And you grow
being-
through what you go through.
Yeah. So if you have 1 week of I'm making all the calls, but then you take a week off of it, 2 weeks off, like, I'm going to make calls again. I'm going to make calls
Doesn't
again.
work.
You got to stick to it. Give it 6 months and then see where it goes. And that, at least that's going to tell you, maybe this wasn't correct. That I'm going to tweak my process a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you keep fine tuning it until that success finds you.
Yep. Very true. Words to live by, friends. Especially in this market. It's such a interesting, unique market right now, which is going to bring us to talk about pending home sales and how they dropped 2% in August. That is for the third consecutive month, down 2%. For the second month in a row, pending sales retreated in the Northeast, Midwest, and South, while the West, again, registered a small increase, which is interesting. So I have some stats here from the National Association of Realtors, and we don't have too much time, so I just kind of want to touch on what the National Association of Realtors Chief Economics Lawrence Yun. If mortgage rates moderate and the economy continues adding jobs, then home buying should also stabilize. He also expects the economy will remain sluggish throughout the remainder of this year, with mortgage rates rising close to 7% in the coming months. Only when inflation calms down will we see mortgage rates begin to steady. He also states that as a result of the current interest rate environment and the weaker economic activity, NAR expects existing home sales to decline. Are we ready? 15.2% in the remainder of 2022 to 5.19 million units, while new home sales are projected to fall by 20.9%. Ouch. So, Yun notes that limited housing inventory and almost non-existent distressed property sales have supported home prices. Overall, he forecasts prices will rise by 9.6% in 2022. In 2023, Yun foresees slower price appreciation and corresponding increases in sales as the year progresses. Next year, the annual median home price is expected to rise by only 1.2%, Home sales will pick up in the second half of 2023, but will be down by 7.1% overall. What do you think about that?
I think with the past few years, how much it exploded,
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of riding the ship.
Yeah, I agree with
I
that.
think 2.5 to 3.5% growth annually, that's sustainable. I
Yeah.
mean, when we're hitting 16 to 18%,
Or 50.
you know,
We saw some crazy numbers the last 2 years.
yeah,
Crazy. We were bound to hit this, so it's not new news. But when you kind of see it on paper, and I mean we're dealing with it daily
right.
ourselves.
And this
so
is nobody has a crystal ball.
nobody has.
You know, this is all someone's insight.
Yeah.
Now, probably someone way smarter than me,
Yeah.
you know, with way more experience in the industry. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, before COVID, rates skyrocketed because they didn't know.
They didn't
and then
know.
we saw record lows.
Then we saw record lows. So nobody knows. These are just opinions, so to speak.
Exactly.
It's just like your home inspection is an opinion, an appraiser's report is an opinion. You're going to get different opinions from different people.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right now, we're still seeing a seller's market.
Mm-hmm.
Properties are sitting longer. They're taking longer to sell. How much time do we have? Okay, so we don't have too much time. So as an example of what I was just saying, so taking longer to sell, sitting longer, still a strong seller's market pretty much everywhere. In Salem, in the 97301 zip code, your median list price is $415,000. Average days on market are 46, which isn't bad.
That's quick.
Yeah. So your inventory, there's currently 85 homes on the market. In area code 97304, which is West Salem, your median list price is $519,900 with an average days on market of 53. Currently 99 homes on the market. We are seeing more homes hit the market. So that's really good news. In Kaiser, 97303 zip code, your median list price is $499,500 with an average days on market of 48. Currently 45 homes on the market in Kaiser. And that was a quick minute and a half, but we will be back next week with realtors, escrow, and mortgage. I forgot about the oh my part.